you beautiful humans, welcome back to my channel. In today's video I am going to be doing my first mukbang ever. Funny story, I actually didn't figure out what a mukbang was until about 6 months ago, even though it's been a popular video on YouTube for almost 2 years now. I'm convinced I live under a rock when it comes to popular YouTube videos because I'm just so bad at trends like that. But here we are. I have some leftover Chinese today from a place called King Wok from where I live. It actually isn't my leftovers, it's my boyfriend's, but he left it at my house and if it's not eaten by the end of today, it will be bad. So I was like, you know what, might as well eat it for dinner. Today's mukbang is going to be on a topic though, and this topic is going to be mental health. If you guys didn't know, actually today is Thursday, October 11th, but yesterday was the world's mental health day and I was blown away with how many posts I saw about it on social media, especially when mental health is something that's kind of taboo and not talked about as much as it should have been. I feel like as much as it was talked about yesterday, it was like as empowering and awesome as it was, at the same time I was like blown away because I'm like, all of these people that I'm seeing this content from, I've never heard them talk about struggling or anything. It's like, not saying that they struggle from mental health, maybe they know someone or maybe they're just trying to reach out and say that they're supportive, but I mean I was really happy with, at least in my circle of social media humans, how much recognition that it was getting. And I was really sad because I was so busy all day yesterday and it kind of like popped up on me out of nowhere and I was like, you know what, this is worth doing a whole video on, because I know I mentioned my struggle with mental health this past summer, and I go back and watch that video sometimes and you can just see the pain I was going through. Probably one of the lowest points of my life because I had never experienced any problems with mental health. But if you remember that video, I talked about how I was really glad that I went through it, just because it, like, that sounds so weird, but it like made me understand people a lot better. It made me a lot less ignorant to mental health, and I just want to talk about it today. This is going to be basically a podcast, little mukbang, little relaxed. I have my nice comfy blanket with me, chat about mental health, and I am so lucky to be in one of the greatest sororities. I say that because I'm biased because I'm only in one sorority, but seriously, my sorority sisters are so incredible, and I posted in our group me, and then I was like, hey, I know a lot of you guys posted really cute quotes yesterday and they really inspired me. I was like, if anyone has the heart to go out of their way to send me some of those quotes for this video, that would be really awesome. You guys, if you've been watching me for a while, you know I'm a sucker for quotes, and I will never deny that. I just think that quotes really make you feel, it's just really empowering, especially if you relate to something and you like see that other people relate to it as well. You're like, wow, it can really change your mindset on some things. So yeah, I'm going to share some of those quotes with you today. I'm going to hopefully shout those people out as we go. But the first thing one of my sorority sisters really said was really important to her to mention, and this is Annabelle. Shout out to you, girl. You're freaking awesome. She said, I've struggled with mental health my whole life, and she said, but one thing that I think that you should mention that's really important is everyone deals with mental health differently, and everyone, like, anxiety for one person, especially like male and female, she said, could be completely different for another person. In this example, I hope she's fine with me using her example, but she is saying that she's had ADHD all her life, and a lot of people were just like, oh, she doesn't, like, she's not jittery all the time, like, she's not like not focused all the time, like, she must not have it. But denying someone the validity of their mental health issue, personally, I don't think that if someone had a mental health issue that they would be lying about it, because, you know, when you start talking about it, it's like when you start to accept it, it's like almost a cry for help sometimes. But the worst thing you can do to someone who has mental health is just shoo it away, you know, pretend like, oh, like, just suck it up, like, you'll get through it, or oh, like, yours isn't as bad as this, so it's not as valid. Everyone who struggles with their mental health, you are 100% valid. Your feelings, your thoughts, I wish I could talk to every single person who has had someone kind of push them away because of their problems, like, and just give them a hug. And I wish I could talk to them and say, you are worthy of being listened to and your thoughts are valid, and I could say that a million times. Like, I literally just got chills. Like, when I was going through the lowest of my lows when it comes to panic attacks this past summer, and like my first realization with anxiety and everything, I've never been suicidal in my life, and I've always been like the biggest optimist ever. If you see my videos, like I'm just a happy camper, okay? Life is great. But I was in the mindset where I was like, if this is how I have to live the rest of my life, I was like, I seriously don't know if I could do it. And that is like I never thought I would have that mindset ever in my life, and I'm such a normal human who has everything I've ever wanted, whatever, you know. I'm so thankful for everything I have. But your mind can play tricks on you, and the chemical balance can, you know, become imbalanced. And especially once you get older, once you're around 20, 21, 22, like any age around there is when problems really start to arise with your mentality. And it's so difficult not only to talk about it, but to relate to other people, because like Annabelle said, everyone goes through their mental health problems differently. And I remember I was going through like this panic attack stuff, and I was like, oh, what do you do to get over it? Like, what do you do to, like, you know, make yourself feel better? And everyone's like, it's different for everyone. And that's like the last thing you want to hear when you're struggling, you know? But I think the biggest thing is keeping up with the people you care about most, and whether they seem happy or not, just sitting back like every once in a while and just being like, how are you? And not accepting the answer like, good, how are you? Just being like, no, seriously, like, how are you? I remember a couple times I've come home from college and like my parents will be like, how are you? And I'm like, oh, I'm so good. And like I have this like, you know, natural face, natural optimistic mood. And then my dad will sit me down and he'll be like, how are you really though? And like a couple times this has happened, and I, not even knowing it, has just started bawling my eyes out. And I'm like, wow, like it's so easy for yourself to like mask negative feelings because you're trying to make it day by day and not bring other people down. I think that's a big part too. It's hard to deal with other people's mental health when you are trying really hard to help your own mental health, because, you know, you don't want someone else's stories to trigger yours and stuff like that. But it is so important to be selfless in that aspect, because people need to be heard, and I'm tired of this society acting like mental health is just like the craziest like taboo thing to talk about. I remember I like looked at, right before this video, I was like charging my camera and like looking up stuff on mental health, and I didn't look into it, but apparently like Selena Gomez, I think she, maybe, I could be totally wrong, don't take my word on this, like maybe went into rehab or like opened up about her mental health problems, and there was like a Justin Bieber talking about it, but it's like he's like engaged to Hailey Baldwin. Like, why does he have to talk about Selena Gomez's mental health issues? Because he probably has some of his own. It's like I feel like people, when they come out and like say that they have a problem, they think that other people are going to not look up to them as much, especially if they can't relate, like subconsciously look down upon them, and that's just not okay, okay? It's just not, and I don't know what else to say about that. My food's about to get cold, like I'm bad at this mukbang thing. But I am going to go through a couple of my favorite quotes and kind of just touch base on them, because I could ramble on forever about what I wish the world could be like, or I could share these quotes and hope it changes one of your guys' mindsets or makes you feel a little better about your personal life. But yeah, I think my favorite one I was sent, this is from Vanessa Barbanosa. Shout out to you, girl. Thank you so much for sending me so many so fast. It's a picture of flowers and it says, be patient with yourself. Nothing in nature blooms all year. And that like really hit home for me, because I just love being on a kick of blooming and growing, and like sometimes, especially when you're on a kick like that and you know you have a little mental health slip up, you can be even more depressed and even more down about it, because you're like, I was doing so well and now I have to start from scratch. But if you're happy, like, and thriving and everything like that 24/7, number one, you're not going to appreciate, you have to have low lows to be able to have high highs. It just makes you appreciate them more. But also, like, you are going to run out of energy if you bloom all year. It's just nothing in nature blooms all year, and I think that's really a really cool analogy. Like, you aren't supposed to bloom all year. You're supposed to have road bumps in your life because that's what builds character and keeps you stronger. And it's really, really hard to stay strong when you're having road bumps. But after you get through them is when you feel more empowered than ever, and you're like, wow, I really can take on the world however I want to. Here's another one from her that's really good, and it says, slow progress is still progress. I remember when I was trying to, I'm just relating it to myself obviously because I only have expertise on my own experiences, but I remember when I was going through like my panic attack and like how to, you know, get rid of them and like my panic disorder stuff, and I remember like every once in a while I would have a better day and I'd be like, oh my gosh, maybe it's gone away, blah blah blah, and then the next day would be even worse, and you're like, oh god, am I ever gonna get better? But even just having your small good days, you should pat yourself on the back for those small good days because it's not easy to progress. And if you have any sort of progress in your mental health, just know that I'm so proud of you. If you make any progress, whether it's talking to a therapist, finally going on medication, or taking your medication, or not even to that extent, say it could be anything, like you have social anxiety, you know, leaving your house, just getting through that next party, I don't know, this might not be the best examples, but any progress counts, and that's really, really important to remember, because as much as we all want to jump to the finish line, you have to run the race. Like, you just have to. This is from Taylor Polovka. I'm pretty sure that's how you pronounce her last name. She said that this quote was hung up on one of the mirrors in our sorority house, which I thought was such a cute idea and so awesome. But this one says, flowers grow back even after they're stepped on, and so will you. That is really, really cool. It's like that, I honestly, when I think of that, my mind goes to like bullying too, which, I mean, I'm sure they go hand in hand, but no matter how much you are stepped on and pulled down and your mental health is trying to like capture you, you know, you will always grow back. Even if you think you're at the lowest point of your whole entire life and that there's no way you're gonna come back from it, you will. Like, I've been in that place and I'm like, this is just my life now, and I accepted it, and I was just depressed about it, and just knowing where I am right now, it's so crazy. Like, if I attached myself to those thoughts I had, I would be in a whole different place right now. But I accepted these quotes, things like this, that you will grow even if you're stepped on. And this is at any point in your life. You could be freaking 40 years old and be stepped on and be like, oh my god, my life's basically halfway over, but you will get better. You will grow back. Like, that is just part of the human being. I think that one's really cool. Oh my gosh, my friend Britt at Chinose, she's like one of my favorite humans ever. She sent me this tweet from Chance the Rapper from yesterday, and if you guys know me, you know I freak with Chance the Rapper so much. I love him, but this is so wildly important, and just bless his soul for tweeting this. Like, you know, not many people, especially celebs, like, they won't mention it, but especially people with a big platform like Chance, this is what puts my mindset in like such a good perspective, because I'm like, wow, these people are really changing society. And like, this is honestly the first mental health awareness day that I have like really seen pop off, and I think it's just because it's becoming a bigger, more of an issue. You know, suicide's the second leading cause to death, which is crazy because I'm sure most suicides are relating to mental health, and people who don't think that they're being heard, or they don't think that they're gonna get better. And that makes me really sad, because I mean, just a couple people that I've known that have committed suicide, and I never even knew them that well. It's like the fact that I didn't know them that well and I saw their potential in life, and then that potential was 100% wiped, not only from them, but all of the people that cared, like really cared about them. I don't know why I'm about to tear up. Like, I mean, because it's, you know why? It's because it's serious. Like, it's like we need to change. Like, this society, it just needs to change. Yeah. Anyways, I haven't even said the tweet yet. Wow, that was just a lot. He said, remember when dealing with friends or family with mental illness, that your expectations and their progress will always be separate. It's easy to become frustrated when dealing with someone you're so familiar with, but it's integral to their growth that you're patient and supportive. This tweet is so important. Like, I wish I could describe, I just wish I could describe it. It's so hard to talk to people who don't want to be helped. I don't think it's like that people don't want to be helped as much as it's they don't want people to look down on them or have a reason to, you know. Once you talk about something out loud, it kind of becomes more real, and people like to just take their illnesses and just mask it and pretend like it's not there, or I don't know. There's just so many things to say about this tweet. I freaking love Chance the Rapper, but just know that even if you are talking to someone or seeing someone and they are like explaining their mental health and you are explaining it, and you're like, why don't you just do this, you'll be better, why don't you just do this, you'll be better. You can give as much advice as possible, but the best thing that they're gonna need in that moment is just your support and your open ears, and just know that progress, it's not always 3 steps forward, you know? It could be 3 steps forward, 5 steps back, 5 steps forward, 2 steps back. Like, it's a journey, it's a race before you get to the finish line, and the finish line is, I don't know what the finish line is, death or being as perfectly happy as you can be, but you know, life's a journey. I feel like I say that in every single video. That might have gotten dark for a second, but especially like the more you're familiar with someone, the more you think that you know their mindset, but you can't explain your mental illness or mental health that you're going through to someone else. Like, you just straight up can't explain it because everyone goes through it differently, and it is just an internal battle, honestly, and it sucks not being able to have an army to battle against it, but you know, you're your own knight in shining armor and it's important to know that. And it's important to try a knight in shining armor to your friends, whether it's just giving them advice but not pushing them. You know, you can tell someone to get help as much as you can, but like, if you push it on them, they're gonna want it less and less. But if you like tell them the benefits and tell them you've been doing it, or like maybe you've been seeing someone for them, or like, there's so many little things you can do to help someone feel more human and more relatable and more valid again. There's so many thoughts. Oh my gosh, my friend Kennedy, she's actually been in a video with me before. I'm only gonna do a couple more because this video is kind of getting long, but she just sent me a couple of them. Luckily, it was perfect timing. But first one she sent me is really, really freaking cute, and I love this idea. It just says self-care reward stickers. It says, didn't bottle it up, remembered to breathe, asked for help, did my best, I survived a panic attack, didn't pretend I was fine when I wasn't, and I took time to recharge. Those are just like tiny little victories that seem tiny, but they are so relevant to progress. If someone came up to me and was like, I'm proud of myself today, I didn't bottle up my feelings, I came out and explained them, I would just be so happy for them. You don't have to like tell anyone or anything, but just like giving yourself a pat on the back when things like this happen. Like, I took time to recharge instead of going out with my friends because my mental health was unstable, and that is so awesome, and that should be looked at as awesome. It's so easy, especially in college. It's so easy to be like, oh my god, you're not going to the party, blah blah blah, like you have nothing else to do, blah blah blah. But being able to like say no, number one, takes a lot of self-control, but number two, especially if you're saying no just to recharge and relax and drink water and treat yourself better, that should be looked upon so much more than going to the party, you know? I think that's like a big part of our society too. It's like, if you don't show up to the event, you're gonna miss out. But soon enough, you're gonna go to the party so much that you are missing out on your healthy living, your sole purpose, which is to make it through life. Is this getting too deep? I don't know. I love this one. This one's from my friend Katie Sponsor. She said, may all your vibes say I got this. Like, you got this. You can do it. These are just a couple more, which is more like inspirational. This is actually a quote that she also sent me. This is from Louis L. Hay, and it says, "I change my life when I change my thinking. I am light, I am spirit. I'm wonderful, I'm a wonderful, capable being. And it's time for me to acknowledge that I create my own reality with my thoughts. And if I want to change my reality, then it's time for me to change my mind." Butchered that a little, but wow. That's really, really cool. And then these are just a couple more like little ones. One says, "Eat your fruit, drink your water, grow, love yourself, mind your business, and trust your intuition." Which I love that, girl. Drinking water, I will forget it when I'm like trying to hype myself up on coffee all day. But then drinking water, especially if you get yourself in the habit of it, oh my god, just makes you feel so much better overall. Also, something else that was on here that I somehow missed was the one that I saw the most. It says mental health is just as important as physical health, and so many people will go to the gym, but you don't see people talking about going to therapy as much as they talk about going to the gym, or you know, talk about treating themselves right. It's funny because I honestly do believe that mental health and physical health do go together somehow now, because I was just treating my body so bad when I was going through the rut of it all. And recently, and like it wasn't because of that, it's just I kind of got bored. I started going to the gym and just kind of like letting out my energy, and it has helped me so tremendously. Every time I'm feeling a little anxious, I'll literally go to the gym and run a mile and feel instantly better, because you know, they do go hand in hand. Sometimes if I eat out too much, my mental health will literally start deteriorating, and I like feel it. And it's so important. I mean, this just like goes against what I just said. It says like mental health is just as important as physical health, but I do think they go hand in hand. It's so important to like put into your body what you want to get out of it, and not even the way it looks. It's crazy because I used to work out because I wanted to look better, but I realize now that I work out because I want to feel better. I just feel so much better, not only about myself, but about life when I go release my endorphins, release my energy, and just care for my body and my soul and my mind. And because you only have one shot at life, so you kind of got to make it count, you know? You don't kind of, it's important to make it count. So this was a fail at a mukbang because I still have so much food left. I just am not good at talking and eating at the same time. I think I'm gonna go ahead and edit this while I eat the rest of this. But I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys want more of like a specialized video on any topics when it comes to mental health, I would definitely do that. I would love to start making a lot more videos to help you guys and help myself. You know, this is kind of therapeutic for me. I hope it helps you a little bit. Leave your comments down below what you thought of it. I hope you guys are not only aware of mental health today, but every day, because I just have so many more things to say, but you never know what someone's going through, and that's why you should always treat people with kindness and respect and care, as if they're going through the biggest struggle of their life, because just putting more negativity on someone, especially if they're going through something when it comes to mental health, it could be a life or death situation, and that makes me really sad. And I hope that nobody feels that way, and I hope if you do, you reach out to me or anyone in the comments. We'll all support each other here. I'm always here for each and every one of you, as I hope you would be for me. But I love you guys so much, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.